Good evening, everyone. 16 Legs to Sea, another entry here. I understand a lot of you have some questions on how we're getting the boat from Fort Lauderdale to Marco Island. So the first day, we were originally going to take the southern route, which would have swung us around past Miami, past the Keys, and then around the point to Marco Island. But the waves were way too big. The winds had picked up and they were 6 to 9 footers. And while maybe the boat can handle it, I'm not interested in smashing through that kind of weather. And I'm sure the family is thankful for that. So we decided to take the northern route. So we took from Fort Lauderdale, the intercoastal, all the way up, which is a little bit filled with various drawbridges that either open on the quarter or the 30-minute mark of each hour, and you call ahead, and we're 22 feet high. So if, of course, the bridge is high enough, then you can just go under without having to wait for the bridge to go up. Obviously, if it's less than 22 feet, then you have to wait for the bridge to go up. So you call ahead with your VHF as you arrive. You say, hey, you say your vessel, Perseverance, heading north at the 16th Avenue Bridge or whatever the bridge is. And then you wait, and they say, okay, we got you. We'll get you at the quarter or the 30 and get you through. So there's a lot of kind of putter long, wait, putter long, wait, putter long, wait, putter long, wait. You try to make time as best you can when there's the no wake zones. You obviously can only go very slow speeds. But when there's the free to go, you try to get as much ground covered as you can. We covered all the way up from Fort Lauderdale to just south of Mar-a-Lago, which is where Trump was at. And then, as you may have seen in my other entry, it was quite a night last night. Our windlass failed, and so that's our automatic anchor motor. So we attempted to anchor at an anchorage just south of Mar-a-Lago, and we were unable to get the anchor to hook. Or it started to drag and started to pull us back into the channel. So then I had to go pull the anchor up by hand, and then we moved further in and then reset the anchor again, and this time it held. It was 20 knot winds. It was really howling, and we were swinging from 180 degrees all night. You could hear the anchor chain really snapping, and it held all night, but man, it was a little disconcerting at times. Snapped us awake a couple of times. So from West Palm, just south there of Mar-a-Lago, we then covered 100 miles, nautical miles today, a little over 100. And we did that by continuing north on the Intercoastal Way up to Port St. Lucie. And then we took the St. Lucie Canal over, which also has a few bridges and then a couple of canals that you have to, a couple of locks that you have to wait for and do as well. Then we got to Lake Okeechobee, and we crossed Lake Okeechobee. It was pretty much barren. No one was out. I was glad to have our captain, Mike West, along because he really pointed out some of the navigational hazards. Lake Okeechobee has some pretty narrow channels to deal with, and some real treacherous rocks that can snap a $10,000 prop off on you pretty easily. So we were thankful that he'd actually had a couple pins dropped. He's like, no, we're going to stay to the right, going to stay to the left here. Even in the channel, you were a little bit, hold your breath. So we made it through all of that. We crossed Lake Okeechobee, took about an hour to get across, and then we anchored. We've tied up at a marina here just on the other side of Lake Okeechobee. Tomorrow, we will take the river further west into Fort Myers, where we have a slip arranged for us tomorrow night as well. That is at, we hope to get there by about 3 or 4 o'clock. There's a couple of locks, again, that we have to get through by a certain period of time. As long as we get through those by a certain period of time, that should make the trip pretty easy. From there, it's Fort Myers, about 60 nautical miles south to Marco. Now, those 60 miles may be delayed. It's going to be blowing pretty good. Even on the closer to the shore, the waves could be 3 to 5 feet. And again, maybe not something that we want to be dealing with. But tomorrow we have probably our most manageable day, about 80 nautical miles. So that'll put us up pretty close to 220, I think, nautical miles that we'll have covered. Yeah, it's an adventure every day. Boat is running great. At about 23 miles an hour, it burns about 40 gallons of gas an hour. So it's running really efficiently for this size boat. It might sound a little crazy. Piece of good news, we did find gas for $1.89 a gallon. Are you kidding me? For diesel? So I was able to top off the tanks for 250 gallons. I think it was only like $543 or something like that. It was great. We did pump out, everything else that we were supposed to do, and it was really, really inexpensive. So gas is a lot cheaper than I thought it was going to be. I had kind of budgeted for this trip in that $4 to $5 range, and it's running more like that mid $2 range. So I'll take it. On 500-gallon tanks, you know, the bill can jump up pretty quickly there. The boat goes about 250 miles on 500 gallons at cruise speed. So about, you know, somewhere between 10 hours of full running to 14. You don't run wide open or cruise the whole way because there's always something slowing you down. And once you slow down, the boat gets, you know, at 10 miles an hour, it's only burning about 6 gallons an hour. So you know, the fuel efficiency goes way up. But of course, if you've got someplace to be, like we have, you got to hustle when you can. I hope that answers a few questions of the Ashford family 16 legs to see. If you have any questions, you can ask me here on Facebook, or you can find out, you can ask a comment or a question on YouTube as well. I hope you're finding this fun. We are, and I hope you have a great night. Thanks.